Hi everyone, it's Adibankimo here. Today, I'll be sharing how being in culturally diverse settings has transformed my views on communication. I am not just talking about barriers in accents or different pronunciations. No, it goes way deeper into values, expressions, and even into silent cues that we often overlook. So you're welcome again to my channel. If you're new here, thanks for settling in, and please don't forget to subscribe and like my videos and share them with your friends if you resonate with them. If you're a returning subscriber, how do you do? Don't play with it, don't be dishonest. Take, for example, during one of my early team meetings, I got a feedback on a project. I listened attentively and asked, so what exactly did I do wrong? I did not mean it to be like defensive or sound defensive. I was genuinely curious and wanted to improve, but the room went quiet, really quiet. Later, a colleague pulled me aside and was like, you might want to soften your approach when asking for feedback. That moment was an eye opener for me. In the setting, my question came off as confrontational, and I was like, I realized that in some cultures, giving feedback is an art form layered with subtleness and diplomacy. People might say, I see what you were trying to achieve, instead of saying, this isn't good, like this is bad. You know, the message is there, but it's still wrapped up in a cushion of consideration, like you want them to see it too from your perspective. If you know what I mean, it takes a whole lot of heart. I remember my first job in the United States coming from Rwanda and Nigeria, where we communicate distantly. You know, we tend to be more direct, more expressive with our emotions, but I quickly realized that what seemed like a confidence in Nigeria could be perceived as aggression in some parts of the United States. Another example I would never forget was when I moved to a role that had mixed team. People from Asia, Latin America, and United States, Rwanda were there. We had a senior colleague from Japan, and I noticed that everyone would always wait for him to speak first in meetings. I, being the enthusiastic go-getter that I am, would just hop in. My intentions were good, but one day I noticed that it was not comfortable, so I pulled back and observed. It turns out that in his culture, respecting hierarchy and allowing the senior person speak first is a sign of respect. That was a wow moment for me. It wasn't just about communicating ideas, but also about how and when those ideas were shared. From those experiences, I learned the power of listening, not just to the words people say, but to how they were saying them and why they might be saying them that way. Another thing I had to rewire was interpreting body languages. For example, a nod might just mean agreement, while in another, it's simply acknowledgement. Once I nodded during a conversation with a colleague from India, and she continued explaining, thinking I hadn't grasped the concept yet. So we both laughed about it later, but when we realized there was a mix up, it was really funny. So it's okay to ask, how do you perceive what I am saying? Or, what's the best way to approach this? It's not a sign of weakness. It's a sign of respect and willingness to adapt. Trust me, I've been there. So there are some body languages that we pick up. For example, in Nigeria, if I look at you this way, you're definitely doing something wrong. But, you know, you might be at work and your manager just looks at you and like, you would think they were checking you out because in Nigeria, it looks like that person is trying to like understand what you're saying, but that might be what is wrong with you. So that's just that's just an addition, but just make sure you understand exactly what they're saying. You can actually ask questions to clarify when you're not sure of what you guys are getting at. Now let's talk about humor. In Nigeria, we have a rich tradition of using proverbs and witty remarks, even in professional settings. But humor doesn't always translate across cultures. Once I cracked a joke about saving for a rainy day, and my colleague, who was going through a tough financial situation, felt like that was a poor taste of joke. It was a painful reminder that context is everything. So, what is the takeaway? Communication isn't one size fits all. So, it's like a dance, learning when to step forward, when to step back, when to just listen and be still, when to do nothing, when to, just, it's just different. I am grateful for the many cultural diverse settings I have been in because they've made me a better communicator, a better team player, a better team lead, and ultimately a better person. If you've enjoyed this video and learned something new today, don't forget to hit the subscribe button, like this video, share with your friends, share your own experiences in the comments below because I would love to hear how diverse settings has changed your own views on communication. If you've listened this far, these are the videos that I will suggest that you also go through. You may find them good for you. Don't forget to communicate well, know how to use your body languages, and see you in my next video. Bye.